Hello guys and welcome to Geodota's latest Meepo video. Today I'm going to be bringing you a game where I actually managed to score my highest amount of kills with Meepo. I broke my overall kill record in this game, so I just wanted to bring it to you so you can see how it went. We can talk about the things I did right, the things I did wrong, the things the enemy team did wrong, and general stuff you can pick up on to improve the way you play Meepo, and maybe even something you didn't realise that I did wrong or right in this game. So this was an AP game, did about 3 days ago. As you can see, just general sort of picks
Better
here.
get ready.
We were playing on the Dire team this time. I was actually pre-made with Pudge and Enigma, and there I go picking the Meepo. Playing on
where there's one of these little fellas, there's always more.
Playing under the name of Deity, but today was playing under a different name. Pokemon fans will understand that, but everyone else pretty much won't. But anyway, during this phase not much really happens. I mean, the game sort of snowballs very quickly, you'll get to see, but it will play out fairly slow at the start. So we'll just go over some of the stuff you can do as Meepo to fill the time while we wait for me to get on the ball. Actually, I think we were 5 stacked this game. Yeah, we were. I was pre-made with all 5 of these guys.
30 seconds to
when we 5 stack,
Alchemist.
We
you know,
don't really go
folks ain't necessary to turn lead
too much
into gold.
Stacked play, you know, sort of stacked picking. No face roll lineups and stuff, because that just makes it unfair, and you end up just beating an unorganized team way too hard, and that's no fun at all. So in this game we actually had Sing and Kel going aggressive dueling, which gives me a nice amount of space to go solo top on the Dire side. I often recommend getting a solo lane as Meepo, or a safe lane with a support that's pulling for you so you can get solo XP. Can't stress enough how important solo XP is on a Meepo. If you're not getting it, you're generally going to be underwhelming in the mid game. You need to get that level 6 as soon as possible. So because we're in a 5 stack, it was really good of everyone to just let me have that solo lane. Usually I either take him mid, which is a lot riskier and a lot harder, but it makes your lanes a bit more flexible, or I'll take him on the safe solo with pulling farm, or as you can see, just a 1v2 lane with a jungler, so works nicely for me. As you can see, Lena's harassing me quite hard. This is why I tend to go for the Stout and the Ring of Protection, which is quite nice because we have an Enigma who doesn't really need that many starting items. He was kind enough to pull me some regen, which is really helpful. I'd often recommend, if you're going to be solo laning as Meepo and you're expecting the lane to be fairly hard, I would definitely try asking your teammates, especially if they can, to help pull you some regen, because it's really key that you stay in the lane. Generally, I'd say if you were going back to base before level 6 on Meepo, you're more or less going to lose the mid game. Like it is pretty much that sort of game determining whether you go back to base or not on Meepo. So having this extra regen, the really good 7 base armor with the Ring of Protection and the Stout Shield to help block some of those auto attacks from Lena, combined with the buff he recently received to give him 35% magic resist, he's a pretty tough one to move out of the lane with this starting item build. It was kind of flexible on the starting items you can go for, but I would generally not take it too risky if you use him. I would get as much regen and tank as you can. To be honest, you don't really need the damage. You need to go poof level 1 so you can get those last hits, and you shouldn't have any problem with last hitting. But anyway, just a pretty passive game at the start, nothing too aggressive. I mean, Lena could be doing a better job of harassing me out of this lane, definitely. I mean, she's trying to zone me out, but every time she does this, if she gets too close to this creep, it's going to start auto-attacking her. And you can see, like, a level 1 Light Strike does absolutely no damage to Meepo with that magic resistance. And even her auto-attacks are probably doing about 10 damage, so, you know, it's really nice how strong Meepo has become in recent patches, and just by doing this build, it's really hard to force out of the lane. Obviously, like, Alchemist is not doing the best job of last hitting, as you can see.
That's
these 2 range moves not really helping that much. Actually, Death Prophet scoring first blood double kill against our team. Sorry I missed that. I'm going to be concentrating more on my play in this game, and that sounds a little bit sort of arrogant, but the game is special because of how many kills I managed to actually get on Meepo during this game. So most of the time I will be focusing on him, but Death Prophet did rotate bottom, get that double kill. So the game already looking not that great for us. You know, you really, I mean, poor old Pudge is going to have a really hard time now with Death Prophet being so farmed and so leveled off of those 2 kills bottom. And now that Queen of Pain got a huge advantage from that level 5 versus level 2 Sand King and level 2 Jakiro, so that is not looking good for them. But of course, you know, you need to keep your game head on and not tilt when stuff like that happens. So we're pretty good at not doing that. All of us in this 5 stack tend to play something more. But you can even see like just that light spread, not a lot of damage. You know, the alchemist stun coming in, which is physical damage anyway. But you know, it's still not that low, not that killable. Granted, they could have done that a bit better. I don't think these guys are pre-made, so yeah, they're going to be a little bit less coordinated than they maybe should be. So you know, you can't really be too hard on them. I mean, you could easily just look at them and say that they're playing completely wrong, but it's different playing.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
Can make mistakes that you wouldn't normally make if you look in retrospect. Death Prophet rotating top, and as a free they could probably easily dive me. She doesn't have her ultimate yet, which is kind of, she's very close to it, so if she gets a few creeps she could dive me with the ultimate, but she's not rotating for some XP and she's just going to go back mid. Or is she? She seems to just be hanging around and just wasting a lot of time here actually, not really achieving much, which is not what you really want to be doing on a Death Prophet who is incredibly level dependent.
Bottom is missing.
Really. So yeah, she's wasting a lot of time here while everyone else is getting pretty much through them. And of course, because we're pre-made, you know, I noticed the Death Prophet. She did a not a very good job of hiding herself, so I noticed and tell my team, and they rotate top to maybe get a few kills and defend me if they decide to dive me, and they instantly hurt because now someone's dead. Instantly level 6, so that's nice. I mean, if playing Meepo with a team that is coordinated around you and they know how Meepo works, you can really do well. I think solo queuing as Meepo, although I do it quite a lot, is a lot more difficult and a lot more unforgiving because your team may not give you the space you need, or may not even think you're a carrier. A lot of pub players don't even take Meepo as a carry, which is kind of stupid, but that's how it is. So I definitely got a huge advantage from being able to play with a pre-made team, and that's one of the reasons why I end up doing so well in this game. But yeah, I mean, now I'm 6, I'm sort of just, this is what you always want it to be doing. Obviously, all Meepo players will do this, but if you haven't played him before or watched him before, you always want to be, as soon as you hit that 6, you either want to be taking both with them into the farm and doing these big camps, so here and here, so that if your lane's tough you can rotate both your Meepos into jungle. Obviously having the Enigma, I didn't want to take up too much of the jungle, so you can usually just put the one Meepo here, but you just keep an eye on it. Some of those camps will really take his health down, so you can't just AFK it there. Death Prophet picking up another kill on poor Pudge there, didn't really stand a chance with the face boots and the ultimate, which is actually physical, so you know, him having no armor really doesn't do any good. So Jakiro flanking and rotating top with me, should be able to get a pick off here. Alchemist and Lena both split up. Lena looks like she's about to drop me while I'm fighting Alchemist here. Doesn't seem to be moving, there goes Lena, and I'm just taking down this Alchemist. It decides to TP out, but I know the range on poof, and although it doesn't have a circle around it, the range on poof is quite generous. You can hit people from quite far away, so just queuing up those poofs using tab, and he's dead instantly. There was no way he could avoid that. Death Prophet decided to come top, which isn't the best idea against 3 people here. Pudge is also here, so she's not in the best position right there. I know where my teammates are, and I know what's going on. He decides to get some nice ice path. But just misses. But yeah, take down the Death Prophet. That was a really questionable decision. Maybe she didn't realise how many of them, how many of our team were around there. So a bit difficult for her. But now I'm having the time of my life, really. They haven't really shot me down. Every attempt they've tried to have a go at me and try and shut me down has failed. My farm's good, my leveling's good, so yeah, this is the kind of start you always want on Meepo. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily prioritise farm. A bit ambitious on the stun there without the Shadow Blade, so decided to rotate
mid tower's getting banged up.
Achieve much. Just got a crit where Alchemist actually just dropping, getting on with the XP there. And Death Prophet pulling off an ultimate here. She did get stunned up by Enigma, so she's not really going to achieve much apart from a little bit of farm.
Radiant's
so
top
not the best
tower's in
ultimate from
bad
Death Prophet.
shape.
She might even get hooked here.
Guess what's
by
happening to Dire's bottom tower?
I do have my second Meepo to back him up. My
Radiant's
first Meepo was
top
actually going to try and cut her
hurting.
off. Let's see if I manage it.
Dire's bottom tower's
Oh,
getting
I
the
might be
business.
backing off, waiting for her to bite the bait a bit more. That ultimate does do
Radiant's
very
top
deceptive
tower
damage,
is
so
kicking in.
it's never really a good idea to just stand there and try and kill him. See on Prodigy takes quite a bit of damage there, just from the ultimate.
Going from rogue.
Again,
Radiant's
definitely
top tower's in
just
bad
not
shape.
coordinated with her team. Her team are just elsewhere, and she's
Dire's
trying
mid tower won't last
to
much
gank
longer.
me on the Meepo, but because basically when you have a Meepo on your team, if you're playing Meepo, if you're playing in with friends, it almost becomes a bit of a fort protect one in a lot of circumstances. As you can see, our team is incredibly aggressive in its play, like Pudge, amazing ganker, Sanky, amazing ganker, and teamfight ultimate. Jakiro is an amazing support, and then you have Enigma, which is just your
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom
getting in there
tower?
with the double net. No charge up from the
Radiant's mid tower's coming
that double
apart.
net interrupts
Dire
any
disowned
stuns they're
their
about
bottom
to do,
tower.
any auto attacks they're going to do, so I could just walk away really. Looking back, Lena should have been able to stun me there really, but I doubt she would have killed me, to be honest. Of course, now the game just starts to slow down a little bit. You can see sort of these, they're trying to rotate now. They realise that I've got quite far ahead on the Meepo. They realise that the only person on the Dire team they need to shut down is me on the Meepo. Getting a poop out there. She could have, well, if she took a level in her silence, there would have been a chance of her interrupting that. But Alchemist charging up these stuns really preemptively, and I really don't recommend doing this either. And that is going Shadow Amulet on Alchemist first. I really don't recommend doing that, because if you see, he's only got 61 base damage. Bit of a juke here. Not the best black hole, I must admit. And there I might drop there, taking the damage from the ghost. Bit of this micro in there, I drop. A nice ice attack from Keller, but will we pick up the Lena? Death Prophet is bleeding out with that double damage in the ultimate off. That's not a good fight for us. So there's no sort of evidence of the fight being of the game being immediately in our favour, and where these massive amounts of kills are coming from. You see, I've got my first death there, which after the amount of times they've tried to shot me down isn't that bad. I mean, I could have played that much better, but a bit of miscommunication and a bit of miss micro did cost me that Meepo. So, but anyway, back to my previous point. If you see how it only has 63 base damage at this point in the game, that is incredibly low. And when you turn your ultimate on, your attack time pretty much just doubles, so you attack a lot quicker. And you just want that damage. It makes lasting easier. It just makes him much more of a viable hero at this point. So I would always recommend going for the Claymore first. The Shadow Amulet really doesn't give you much. It gives you a little bit of attack speed and a useless sort of active that is really not that useful. So Pudge going in there with the instant rot, it was maybe you dive this out, maybe I can get a second out on him, but the Geostrike doing its work. Max Geostrike there, which I have started to prefer doing. I used to max net second, but max the Geostrike, especially once you get the third Meepo, you can just take people down so quickly with that. The 20% slow and the 28 damage a second from each Meepo, which stands, which is incredible. So I would definitely recommend picking that up second if you're not going for a sort of killing Meepo. If you're going for more of a hard carry Meepo, which I was in this game, I would definitely recommend picking up Geostrike second. So the Radiant team TPing in to try and deny this tower, but unfortunately not going to be the deny. So getting a bit out of position here. She finally skilled us answer, but good ice pass from Jakiro. Check that, and a macro fire to stop the push. Meepo might decide to go and kill her. She can get the kill, she does. They get Sing as well, Sing's out of money, yeah, he's down. So that was a little bit of an overextend there by us, and quite some good pickoffs. They did punish our position in there really well, so obviously having to retreat down because my Meepos are low, but as a hard carry Meepo, I definitely like going for the Aghanims first, because the more Meepos you have, the more you can accelerate your farm basically, and the earlier you have those Meepos, the quicker you accelerate your farm. It's pretty much that simple. So there are other builds where you go Blink first, and I like that, but I wouldn't do that if you're planning on going a hard carry Meepo. The sort of ganking mid Meepo is it makes much better use of a Blink Dagger really around 14 minutes if you have a good lane and you're babysit properly, but really items aren't that key on Meepo. I would always prioritise levels over a farm with Meepo. You only really need the Aghanims and then you really take off, and then your other items just happen because you're farming the entire map. See, I'm always using these extra Meepos. I have my first Meepo where I want primary farmer, where I'm doing the most stuff, and then I just have these and just taking all the farm I can. So that's what you really want to prioritise doing. As soon as you don't leave these Meepos standing around, and don't treat them as sort of extra liabilities, so you know, extra things to just micro and not get killed. They're sort of farming tools at this point in the game. And they're basically just close and extend your damage. Don't dot them around the map so you can ping around the map and escape ganks. It's useless, really. There's no real point in that. Nice look from Kroki there. Kroki's manwich, should I say? That's not the real Kroki. So we get some extra there, and I get the nice kill. Pain trying to come in. The magic resist showing its worth there, and she accidentally shadow strikes the wrong person. She was ticking her down there. She'd have shadow striked him there. I could have denied him, but if I'd have missed microed, it would have been a kill for her easily. I could have probably only tanked 2 ticks of that at its current level. Actually only a level 1, I probably could have survived that actually.
Top tower.
You know the drill. We'll see. Alchemist pushing in a nice top tower. But I especially like playing Meepo safe lane on the Dire, because you can just rotate your Meepos through here, and they're sort of within easy access of this tower. I feel that the Radiant jungle is a bit easier to gank. I feel that's just my personal preference. That's how I found playing Meepo. Radiant that I don't really like to play Meepos around here.
How about that?
You get it from the anyway, fight going on mid. He does get picked off with a macro and macro nice stuff, but she does get picked off by Lina because Lina's cooldown to all a bit of mispositioning, but cannot be helped sometimes. A bit of miscommunication as well when we're going
could use a little
but
help.
you see, I'm not really trying to defend what my team is defending. Obviously we have the Enigma, which gives us some very nice counter push and some nice split push generally, which gives me more map control. But where they're taking towers, they're not really forcing a position on the map. They're just sort of farming up here and there. This tower needs to go down for them to really take some map control, and because my Meepos are here, unless they do 2 or 3 people pushing this tower, they're not really going to take it, because as you saw, I was easily able to solo kill the Alchemist, which has only just picked up his Shadow Blade, which is incredibly slow on an Alchemist with a support there. He should have easily been able to outpop. The fight going on bottom now is my 4th Meepo as I got that Aghanims down bottom, tabbing those nets. Deathrop's going to go down, she was right ticking there down. So the more Meepos you have, the more you can do basically. Your cooldowns, especially on your net and your poof, become more spammable. As you could see, I was able to just spam net out there, and you don't even need to be that good finding the net if you just spam the net with tab in a certain direction, which I've become fairly good at doing there. Nice hook there from Kurogi's manwich, just picking off the Lina there. Quite good old podge there, forcing a position on the map. And see, they're not really grouping up and making it. Oh, this might actually be nice. It's not doing too well on the farm. Should really just be farming these waves while we're bottom. But anyway, on Meepo you want to sort of be looking at where you can farm. You see, now I've rotated bottom because I've seen Nature's Prophet up here. I saw Alchemist around here. I also know Death Prophet's here, so you just want to farm where the enemy aren't, and pretty much ignore them pushing towers, because with Meepo it's a race against time for you to get those levels and the key items, say the Aghanims, the Blink, the Vlads, which are my personal preference, but the Aghanims is always core. The quicker you get that up, I managed to get it at 16 minutes this game, but the quicker you get that, the better, without a doubt. So we know that they're looking to defend this bottom tower, or the most of them are, and while we're down, AFK some people there, again, they're from the advantage. Most teams are always going to have a reward here, and this sort of general area at any point in the game is pretty dangerous. You want to be in and out there as soon as possible, especially as a support, but Death Prophet getting picked off because of our good constant warding now, which is very nice. Probably going to look for a dive here, but Alchemist is in questionable position. He's not even activated his Shadow Blade. I mean, he's activated now, but that was late activation. Quite with not the best ult, which he's not actually going to get in English. He didn't Shadow Strike him, and it is off cooldown. Not the best place to spot this, but Sanking is going to get stunned up there. Meanwhile, I have bought the Blink, and I'm stopping this Prophet from split pushing while my team fights mid. Are going to get picked off here on Jakiro, which is unfortunate a little bit. I think we're going to try and save with the mega. He's swiftly going to get picked off. But as you can see, there's sort of positional errors from both teams here. I mean, we're both sort of overextending a little bit and just feeding each other kills, which at this point in the game is quite common because of the small respawns. People can just TP in here, full health, all cooldowns off full mana, and just wreak havoc on the people who maybe don't have much health, don't have much mana, can't really do much to defend themselves. But they're gonna, off the back of that little success they've had, they're gonna try and push this tower, but little do they know, I've managed to get level 16, so that's all of my Meepos now. With an Aghanims you actually get 5 Meepos instead of 4. Picking up the Aghanims before I hit 16 as well gave me a nice advantage, and I'm just going to pick up this Death Prophet now if I can land a net, but she's so quick I might not actually get her. The net's coming in thick and fast, but they're not actually going to latch. Could have misplayed by me there, could have got her. When you watch things like this back you see how easy that sort of stuff could be, but when you're actually playing it, it's a different story altogether.
Do something about that
to accidentally get the wrong Death Prophet there, bit of a trial and error. But now with all these Meepos we can really start to apply the pressure. Obviously we don't want Alchemist and Prophet to get the farm lane one, because at that point in the game we might be in trouble. Maybe able to
Dire's top towers
not
get
this
Dire's lost to top tower.
Not especially with Alchemist's farm. It's just really questionable play from this Alchemist. Unfortunately, he's just not really made use of the hero. Maybe he's not used to playing the hero. It just seems he's not really building the right items, so to speak. There's no grinders, there is no the AC is late, and at this point I'm ahead of him. That's shit. Actually not ahead of him. Yeah, there is a bug with Meepo in the network. He's 908 free. It's split between 5, so I probably have about 5,000 net worth at this point. Somehow I don't know exactly how that works. It's a bit weird. But as you can see, I actually have the most current gold, and my last hits and denies are actually top on the team. Actually picking off my skill level, but a bit positioning. I mean, a lot of players don't realise, because they're not used to playing against Meepo, that the net actually the same as Blinks. That's why I really like Meepo against people like Anti-Mage. Quap is very common hero that's picked up a lot. If you can survive that mid lane against a Quap, you'll end up totally destroying the mid game because of the fact that they just literally cannot blink away from you. And Quap's so sort of reliant on being able to move around the map with that blink, because her stat gains aren't that great. She's very squishy, she's very dependent on getting in, nuking, and getting out, but with Meepo on the enemy team she cannot do that. There's no way. And at this point I've picked up 22 minutes into the game, I've managed to get Treads, Vlads, Blink and an Aghanims. 9 kills, 1 death, 126 last hits. You can see that's pretty good on a Meepo. That's the point where things will start to snowball, and the enemy team, unless they 5-manned me or 4-manned me at a stretch, couldn't actually kill me at this point anymore because of how tanky he is. You've got the 11, 16 armor, the Vlads, which the lifesteal is so nice for Meepo, and the aura mana regen. As you can see now, I'd often recommend this as soon as you pick up your Vlads and you have 4 or 5 Meepos. Definitely recommend blinking into Roshan with the first Meepo, poofing in and the rest effectively is like a smoke into Roshan. They can't see you do it if you blink from up here, or as you can see I blinked from around here, so they couldn't see me enter it. Able to blink in, pick up the Aegis, and that Aegis is key on me because people will blow cooldowns on me. It's a very important thing to do. You can't have it around it's very important you blow all of your cooldowns and get down, because he's been sapping at me while positioning there, just picked off by the nets. She doesn't really realise that I'm just able to walk over if I'm able to net. Death Prophet got the Inders, so she's not going to be in that much trouble, but I think we had some detection here. I don't know how we saw her. Maybe that's just thing with the prediction. Anyway, now just never having any downtime really, you just always want to be farming up and making sure you're getting XP, making sure you're getting gold. Not really standing around, not trying to defend. You never want to be stood behind a tower waiting to defend it. You want to have a TP and you want to be farming somewhere else, ready to TP in if the enemy overextend or if they go to the tower. Helmut's getting quite on. And you can see how slow he was with the Jakiro strike. It was just insane. There's literally no way to escape. And I'd often recommend if you're caught out of position by a Meepo and he's got all his Meepos on him with the Jakiro strike, definitely do not try and run unless you really think you can get out, because you will be going nowhere with that slow. It's insane. You're almost at a standstill, so there's no way you can move, especially with the nets coming in as well. You just need to turn and fight and hope for the best. Anyway, we've got some Meepos here. Nice pick off there. Sorry I keep missing these kills. I'm focusing too much on the tactics and not enough on the actual gameplay. So I'll do a better job of watching the kills now. There's plenty more to come. Already sitting at 12 kills. I can tell you that's not even half of the kills in this game. Pretty insane. So now we're looking at this tower. We've got the advantage. Nice blink in there, nice nets. Caught out of position instantly. Wasn't able to react quick enough. Tabbing out those nets. No way she could do it. Nets just coming in thick and fast. Jakiro strike taking her down. And the damage is just insane. Now more nets coming out. Nets also revealed. So if you activate your Shadow Blade and get netted within 2 seconds, you'll still be seen by Radiant's mid tower still be able to be seen. So Meepo a very nice counter to people like Nature's Prophet, and anyone who's dependent upon a Shadow Blade is countered quite hard by Meepo. I mean, Meepo has a lot of counters, but he also counters a lot of people, which is very nice. So as you can see, I am pretty good against their team generally. Which is probably one of the reasons I got so many kills in this game. There's nothing on their team that even comes close to countering me. You could say Death Prophet, but the fact that she's not got a lot means that she's not really going to achieve much. She's only level 13 at the moment, hasn't even got that bloodstone. She didn't really make use of the early farm, and Nature's Prophet can have a pick, but he realises he can't really do that much damage, and I realise a little bit quicker than my farming Meepos are being attacked. But they're going to look for a little bit of a gank here. They realise they can maybe pick me off. They know my team's not in sight. They have this ward here, which is a very nice ward for them actually. Their ward is pretty good. The warding is pretty nice, but at this point I'm not really scared as much. I've got the Aegis, I've got it, so I just see Podge going in for that. But they're going to go now on the Podge. They need to back off. I've just got straight back up and taking up the nets. She's not going anywhere. Jakiro strike, more nets. Nice AoE stun there by Alchemist. Might die some time, might actually save her, and my Blink's disabled by the ghosts. And gonna try and chase on with the Shadow Blade, but are we gonna get any picks here? They managed to wall escape, nice. Oh, can't see her there. That's very nice extraction by the Radiant team there. They didn't feed us too many kills. They gave us 2, but I'm not gonna give us 1 more because Alchemist wasn't quick enough. I think it's a nice sentry ward, and there you go. Just the amount of reach you have with a Meepo at this point in the game, especially with a Sun King as well.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up.
you can punish positioning a really nice level, especially now I picked up the boots of travel, which I really like to do. If I'm ahead, I will definitely get the boots of travel, instant blink in, boost in, dead, instant. The moment you're out of position against people that's ahead, you are dead. He'll blink on you, net you, he'll strike, down. But now, at this point, there's just kills from your There's no one that can really kill me at this point because of how far ahead I am. I'm already level 25. Death Prophet's just right ticking it down. And
guess what's happening to Dire?
you can see now Meepo not looking like the sort of underpowered
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
liability that most people
best
call
do
it.
something about that bottom tower.
With these boots of travel now, I'm able to counter push and split push. Obviously, TPing them everywhere I want them to be. Also, Meepos don't share the cooldown for boots of travel, which is probably the nicest, one of the nicest things about Meepo. Is once you pick up those BTs, you can literally be anywhere where you have vision or creeps. It's a really nice thing that I like to utilise, and more people should utilise when they play Meepo. They're a bit scared to put Meepos into dangerous positions, but obviously where there's one Meepo there can be 5 move on with them, which is always something you want to take into account when you're playing the hero. Never really be scared to put your Meepos in these positions, so like none of my team are around these Meepos, but I know I can farm with them here because if one person or 2 people try to gank them, I can have all 5 there at once and probably kill them. So now I'm picking up the heart. I don't need any damage, I just want some more tank because the Jakiro strike is the most of the damage, especially with the boost. Instantly linked on a medic there, very nice.
The Dire just disowned
Nature's
that
Prophet
top
not
tower.
really having any impact. Near mishook by Podge there, but as you can see at this point it's just snowballed out of control. I'm way too tanky, I'm way too farmed, I'm level 25, blink, Vlads, Aghanims, and I can just chase off their entire team, which I am doing. I'm just forcing my position. Very nice prediction net on the blink there, must admit, and now I'm just going to chase down this quad. Her blinks just come off cooldown, but with the net signature effect she's got, she's dead.
How about that?
You can see I'm faster now with the boots of travel bringing me up to a total of 405 movement speed. Trying to pick up the alchemist, but I'm just blinking forward and forcing my position. Death Prophet was really out of position. That kill as well, nice kill there. So currently sitting at 21 kills, which is not the end of it, there's plenty more kills to come. I do end up milking this game a little bit for some extra kills, but that's all good fun. I'm going to try and pick off Lena, but Lena doesn't have a blink yet, she doesn't have any way of getting away, so these immobile supports are just useless now against me, but they can't really be anywhere where we have any sort of vision, because I can just be there with the boots of travel and blink on them, so yeah, not the best. At this point I'm just farming up, playing good where I want, blinking around, TPing around, just being a total pain. And now I TP back, gonna try and pick off this Nature's Prophet. If I do this right, I'm going to do a nice stun in there from seeing nets coming in. What's happening? And as soon as you get that first net, the person who's shadow blading is more or less dead, because you can just tap more nets in, boom, they're dead. Which is a really nice thing I like to do versus Nature's Prophets, because Nature's Prophet's always been a very popular hero, and most people don't like playing against him for good reasons, so Meepo's a nice counter against him. TPing mid where there's farm I can be. And Death Prophet a little bit out of position here, maybe she thought she was a bit safe, but now the net's coming in, more Meepo's coming in. Silent stop, but you see how slow she is, even a death phase is just that slow. It's just insane. And unfortunately, because I'm sort of in my own game, my 5th Meepo that I was just controlling up, didn't see well, sanking there. I could have helped him if I'd been more aware, but in the actual game, once you're controlling 5 heroes and looking for kills everywhere, it's things that are just out of position. Maybe even just giving up at this point, and I wouldn't really play. Now at 24 kills. And 24 kills, 1 death, which is a pretty good ratio, really. Yep, instant blank and the hook there from Crocky just pulling me back. We often do that. So, as you can see though, often I just keep one Meepo in the front and the rest just farming back. And it's always the primary Meepo you just want to keep on instantly with the net, loose the net. Just mistime that second net. As you see, you don't have that much time. They're probably gonna think she's good with the ultimate, but she snatches her up, gonna snatch his ultimate, maybe get the quap as well. They all think they've got the upper hand, but they barely even bought half of them buried them, so. And now I can just TP them back, regen up. I literally don't have to leave back to base with more than a couple of meters.
Radiant's top tower is taking
regen them up, poof them back in, and I can be anywhere I want, as long as I want, at this point in the game.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
But hopefully this sort of gives everyone a bit of an idea of if you want to start playing Meepo, or you already play him, and maybe you're feeling that, you know, every
Radiant's
game you
bottom
play
tower
is
seen better days.
just sort of difficult, you feel there's too many counters. This is the sort of lineup you can really just afford to pick whatever you want.
Bottom tower.
And this is the sort of game, once you get ahead with Meepo,
Roach just got
profit
stung
getting
by
a
the
cheap
Radiant.
Aegis pick there, but nothing like that's really going to pull the game back for them at this point. I really don't even need the Aegis anymore unless I fountain dive them, so.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right
I
now.
want, and my team could just sit here because they're scared of where I could be, and then now they know I'm going to travel. They can't really go forward with the creep wave, even if no one's there, because I can just TP. So, yeah, once you get that bit to travel and force your position as Meepo, there's really no limit to what you can do on the map. Obviously, picking up the AC for extra damage, extra attack speed, and one-time instant blink in.
15 and a power.
Nice hook there. Pick off the kill. See there? No, you get the skill on that. That's not going to add another kill.
Bottom tower.
Probably get a few more out of this game, I'm feeling, but we'll see. Just pushing in. They really don't really know what to do. I wouldn't recommend this
tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
Going beyond it, this Alchemist. This Alchemist item build really didn't help him versus me. You can see he has 3 armor. Alchemist has really nice strength with the ultimate and pretty nice attack speed and damage. The only thing you really want to build on him is armor and damage. And a bit of attack speed. You don't really want to prioritize this sort of damage and attack speed over the armor. The armor needs to come first on Alchemist because he has awful agility gain. He has no base armor. Maybe gonna get a pick here. Definitely way too far off. I think at this point they just sort of giving up and they're just playing the maybe pick up as well. Maybe not. Don't want to fountain dive at this point. That's 28 kills. Looking for the Lena. Getting a little bit low, maybe get a net in. Caught in, I blocked him, but I need a couple of rocks, make sure it goes down. It's just probably going to come out. I don't know what he thinks he's going to achieve here. I don't have a gem to build space for it. And he's going for some more, and he's just going to die. Maybe he got forward the Aegis, he could get a nice pick. Decide to retreat for some reason. No, he's going to keep going, so if I get a net here, he's dead. Oh, the shadow.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
I feel if I could have done that again, I definitely would have just turned on him as soon as the Aegis came back up. Of course, I didn't know where the rest of their team were. Probably didn't look at their cooldowns. They just profit. TP's here, but I'm instantly here, so we were fighting here a minute ago, and now we're they just profit. Detected, oh, he's just dead. I knew he was in there, just keeps him close, he's down. That's 30 kills, let's see how many more we can get. 30 kills, 1 death on the Meepo, not a bad ratio at all, so we'll see how much more we get out of this. Death Prophet tried to take some farm, just doing whatever. Doesn't really care at this point, and I don't blame her. Some BKB activates. What? The Enigma doing a bit of a random BKB. So at this point the game's pretty much won. I think I have, yeah, you can see most of our kills. I'm just sort of playing a one-man Dota game, which seems kind of selfish considering how much space my team gave me at the start. And it's really, you know, it's just the way you have to play Meepo. As soon as you get that advantage, you need to disregard everyone else and just kill everything that you can get your hands on, and just play your own game because you might win 5 heroes. So that's really how it goes. Definitely with a weird ultimate, probably just for the attack, for the movement speed. And we're just going to push in. We've built this game a bit. We probably could have finished it about 5, maybe even 10 minutes ago. Well, we're just having fun at this point. Alchemist is a bit out of position. He really doesn't have much armor. I don't know why he has a gem. Maybe he picked that off our team. I think that's what happened. But I'm just going to be going around farming up. I really don't even need the gold at this point. I'm just getting some CS, getting some score. So just having fun, which is what the game is about. I'd also recommend that even if you think you're bad at people, even if you just enjoy it, just go and kick it. Just pick it. That's a lot of what I do. And I have really bad people games like that. I don't have the best win rate on it, even though this game should be getting better. Certain teams will count on one. We're just picking people up here. There's not much. They're playing a good game. They're not giving up. Even more kills. Black hole.
How many was that? 2 down.
33 kills. Maybe more. Maybe we could push for 40. 40 would be nice. I thought this game my kill record was 35. So you can kind of get an idea of at least how many kills I'm going to be getting. Which is just nice. My kill record is 35.
Guess what's happening in the Dyer's bottom tower?
No, ever since
Radiant's
I started
mid
playing Meepo, I
tower's
don't really
getting
play
banged up.
many other heroes. I just sort of play Dota to play Meepo and a couple of other heroes. If my team
Radiant's
wants to
top
play
tower's in
kind of
bad
game,
shape.
I'll play support or play a different mid or carry or whatever really. But most of the time I'm playing Meepo. But yeah, now we're just sort of playing the game how we want it, and there's not really much the enemy can do. And I mean, they've given it a good shot. They've not AFK'd. They could have AFK'd easily. They could have just rage quit. You know, they're giving us a good game, and that's really nice for that from them. They're not flaming or anything. I don't know if they're flaming each other. I can't see their chat, but it's just Toa, so anything could happen. Now just TPing around. I think I'm going to let these push up a little bit and maybe try and go for them. Yeah, I'm looking for it. Poofed in the main Meepo, in with the blink, missed the net, which is kind of unfortunate. Going to chase with the rest of them. Death Prophet walking into that net, and instantly, as soon as you get net, it's dead. Queen of Pain with the hasty extraction, which is definitely recommended. 34 kills now. Duke out at mid, Queen of Pain, out. I managed to pick it off again somehow. I managed to get all of the kills. The team probably hate me, probably do, and I wouldn't blame them for stealing everything. But I like to play it. Lena doesn't really know where she's going, just sort of running around.
Look, I lost. 3 down.
We've done an Alchemist. Maybe I didn't see him. If I'd have seen him, definitely gone. This Meepo's seen him though, definitely. I might even go for him. Didn't get the net in time. Probably could have played that better. Now just moving. I don't really care about the tower at all. The amount of regen and damage we have. We can just take this route back door. They just
One less top tower.
The only safe places on our side of the map at this point in the game. 36 kills now. I don't think it's going to end there. We've got another Death Prophet here. Going to all in. Nice net. I think that's a dead Death Prophet. Alchemist. Pretty slow. Can't rush us. Netted on. Moved on.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
But unfortunately I'm not in range of the fountain to take any damage. So I just walk them out and do what I want to get.
Radiant's bottom rags.
Picked up there, unfortunately. Nice little fountain fight. We're all going to do a little bit of fountain dive, but even with all the farm I have, I can't redirect it. The closest Meepo and Lena there picking up 1,025 gold for that kill. Instant buyback, instant CP. Don't CP back here and get some more kills. 36 kills currently. Try and back that up a bit more. They're pushing out their base line and trying to get them out. Oh, the net just missing there. The
Radiant's
blink
bottom rag. Radiant's bottom
very,
rag.
very nice blink there.
It's done. Radiant's bottom rag.
Beginning to learn how my sort of thought process is gonna play out in the net. That's how it goes down. Anyway, Alpha's coming up with yet another really clutch stun. Double net there. Make more time than one boost. AoE stun, clock blocking the boost. That was going to be a sweet double kill with the boost there.
The first flying
laying down that stun.
Radiant's mid tower. The Radiant's top rags. Dire's got a case of the naked creeps. This
AoE
might be
stun.
over
Always
for
going to
the
get an
Radiant.
AoE stun. You know, I'm not good enough to split them away from the stun. That's always going to happen. Linking, Pooping, Profit goes to 8 kills. Can we get one more? That's 48. H dies, more nets, more nets. Yeah, she's dead. 39.
Radiant's ancient is under
And that
pressure.
guy is
Get up for the Dire.
GG. I really enjoyed that little game. The commentary wasn't the best. I'm not really used to it, but I didn't really want to give it just a silent game of me playing Meepo. Of course, they commend Meepo. Probably not used to seeing people pick Meepo. He's probably one of the least played heroes in the game. I'd really recommend, guys, if you want to get into playing Meepo, even if you're scared or your friends, oh, don't pick Meepo because you'll feed. Just play whoever you want, and play him wherever you want. But I would definitely recommend playing Meepo. More people should play him. He's nowhere near as hard as people say he is. I mean, that didn't even look very hard. You just blink, net. Tab is your friend with Meepo. I would say always be using that tab. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, make sure to like, favourite and subscribe. I would very much appreciate that. And check out any other videos I have uploaded. I don't upload much, but if this proves to be quite popular, then I definitely will upload more. So thanks for watching, guys.